pleasant good morning to everyone. I'd like to ask our ComSec to please acknowledge all the guests that are here today.
Good morning, everyone. From the Cooperative Development Authority, we have Chair Orlando R. Rabanera, Assistant Secretary Abdul Salama Guinomla, Assistant Secretary Benji S. Oliva, Assistant Secretary Mila Paradillo, Assistant Secretary Abad L. Santos, Assistant Secretary Vidal D. Villanueva III, and Executive Director Ray Elevaso. From the Department of Budget and Management, Ms. Consuelo Beltran and Ms. Helen Holagado. And from the Civil Service Commission, we have Attorney Vladimir Villacorta. From the Philippine Cooperative Center, we have Mr. Garibaldi Leonardo and Mr. Edwin Bustillos. From the CODIS Federation of Co-ops, we have Professor Elenita Matalaba. And from the Philippine Federation of Credit Cooperative National Training Institute, we have Ms. Leonila Medina. Good morning to everyone. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your patience, and also my apologies that this is actually last Monday sana, pero due to the emergency situation dito sa NCOV, we had an emergency meeting with the Senate that day to discuss protocols on health protocols or safety protocols for the Senate at that time. So busy kami noon, so I had to postpone this meeting. Kaya na yun, hindi na usong magkamayan at maghalikan dito. Ano na, elbow to elbow na. Ganyan na yun, elbow to elbow na yun. So, because we don't want also to spread whatever virus or bacteria around the Senate and of course around our country. So that's why we had to postpone last week's meeting. But I'm happy we're here today. Mayang buntag ka natong tanan. I'm also happy. I was happy to see everybody last Wednesday when we had a visit from Argentinian, the head of the ICA. Yeah, it was good to meet the gentleman and the president. And I hope he had a good time. I hope nag-enjoy po siya. Yeah, so at least makita niya yung Pilipinas kahit isang araw lamang. Overnight lang yata sa dito. Hopefully you can come back. Or hopefully we can reciprocate a visit. Wala naman yatang NCOV sa Argentina. Di pa dumarating doon. Well, before we proceed with the discussion, I would like to manifest for the record the members of the Committee on Cooperatives. Aside from this representation as chairperson of the committee, the members comprising the Committee of Cooperatives which have been nominated by the Senate in plenary last 24th of July 2019 are the following. On the part of the majority, Senators Gatchalian, Villar, Go, Tolentino, Lapid, and Gordon. On the part of the minority, Senator Hontiveros, who I also nominated as our vice chairperson, and Senator Pangilinan. So, while we wait for the adoption of the rules, we'll have to wait for one of our colleagues to join us. We'll just continue probably with the opening statement and maybe a presentation from your group. We'd like to start this meeting with a brief statement. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome you all to the first hearing Committee on Cooperatives for the 18th Congress. August 8, 2019, or 6 months ago, when our President signed Republic Act 11364, or the Cooperative Development Charter of 2019. This is a complementary law to Republic Act 9520, or the Philippine Cooperative Code of 2008, and a long overdue amendment of the original CDA Charter passed in 1990, 30 years ago. The CDA Charter 2019 introduces institutional reforms that is envisioned to strengthen the CDA, allowing it to effectively address the evolving needs of the cooperative sector. And among the improvements of the CDA Charter of 2019 promises that the power to hear and decide inter- and intra-cooperative disputes, controversies, and conflicts brought before the authority, which I think will greatly benefit the sector. Under the said law, the reorganization of the authority shall take effect within 120 days upon effectivity of this act, and the implementing rules and regulations of the law to be formulated within 90 days thereafter. We have invited today resource speakers from the CDA, the PMS, DTI, DBM, Civil Service Commission, and Cooperative sector to talk about this. Fortunately, I don't see the members of the DTI here. Do we have a DTI? Wala ba tayong Wala. Oh, but maganda din sana meron tayong DTI kasi isn't that your parent organization? Yan yung tatay-nanay nyo, di ba? O yan. So baka magtawag tayo na isa pang hearing na kasama siya. Bakit kasama PMS? Ah, okay, okay. All right. So, what's important is, I believe, DTI, of course, civil service, wala din tayong civil service. So maybe we can have the second meeting to also get their comments on this. Ah, civil service? Oh, sorry. My apologies, attorney. So, I would like to encourage everyone to participate in our discussions, be active partner in dissemination of all information that we will learn today. So, few talking points. 6 months after the signing of Republic Act 11364, we're going to discuss appointments, organization, reorganization, and implementation of the new CDA charter. But before we do that, maybe we'll ask a presentation from. Are you prepared, Chairman, to give us a presentation?
Very much.
All right. We'd like to recognize Chairman
Yeah.
Rafael.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairman Senator Mixuberry. A pleasant good morning to everyone. In behalf of my colleagues, especially the Board of Directors and of course the members of SICOM, thank you so much for this privilege and honor of presenting. Of course, to our highly esteemed cream of the crop of the cooperative movement, our partner agencies, Civil Service, DBM, and all others. Anyway, if I may, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say that
Can we just ask them to close a few of the lights there so
Yeah.
that we clear?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I would like to underscore that strengthening CDA means strengthening the cooperatives in whose name and for whose cause CDA was created. And so along that line, perhaps we can just say that it's about time that transformative cooperative really now should loom for people, prosperity, and peace. If I may, Mr. Chairman, I would like to focus my presentation on three main agenda. I'd like to present where are we now, where are we going because of strengthening CDA, and how do we get there, if I may. Next slide, please. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to emphasize that actually CDA is a constitutionally created office. As stated in our Section 15, Article 12, that the Congress shall create an agency to promote the viability and growth of cooperatives as instrument of social justice and economic development. So along that line, I'd like to first, in presenting where are we now, I'd like to, next slide please. I'd like to go back little in history, Mr. Chairman, a little backdrop. As you know, about 30 years ago, twin laws had been enacted because it gave motion to that particular constitutional mandate. Actually, twin laws. One is Republic Act 6939 that's creating our office. And also, the other law is 6938. That's the Cooperative Code of the Philippines, which was actually amended as Republic Act 9520 sometime in 2008.
Chairman, before you
Yeah.
proceed, we'll just
Ah.
recognize our Vice Chairperson.
Yeah.
Senator
Our
Risa
firm salute
Ontiveros.
to our Honorable Senator Risa
Morning, ma'am. Good
Ontiveros.
morning.
Yeah.
He was just presenting lang he just started
Yeah.
the presentation.
And so, if I may, along that line, about in 2008, the twin law, the Republic Act 6938, became the Cooperative Code, named the Cooperative Code of the Philippines, was amended, and what was enacted then was Republic Act 9520. And we're happy because they are twin laws. After 30 years, again, the time has come for Republic Act 6939 to be amended into, and we salute our honorable members of the committee, that the CDA created under 6939, hereinafter referred to as the authority, is hereby strengthened and reorganized to carry out the provisions of this Act and those of RA 6938 as amended by 9520. So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, uh, in this particular strengthening of CDA, I would like to, please, next slide, please. Somehow we were able to underscore that the three main, the functions, actually from 15 functions as stated in Section 3, you know what is so amazing? It became 37 functions. Of course, one of these is a regulatory agency, being a regulatory agency, so we're focused on providing the juridical personality by way of registration. But after registration, we do regulation. Next, please. Mr. Chairman, if I may, I would like to really underscore that this is a developmental office and molding cooperatives as vibrant players to the economy, changing the lives of cooperators, creating a lasting impact on the environment. And along that line, it's so amazing because as chairman of SIDE, I'd like to report that somehow when we were acting, advocating that our budget be increased, we are always told, Chairman, why are you going developmental? You are just a regulatory agency. Well, it's so clear in Section 3. Number one is formulate, adopt, and implement integrated and comprehensive plans and programs to advance the medium-term development plan of the government, etc. And so along that line, we would like to underscore that now, especially at this time, if our rule is really to uproot the poverty and social injustice, then I guess we have to go developmental. Next, please. Mr. Chairman, if I may, no, it has been said that in the universe there is nothing happening by accident. It is always happening by synchrodestiny. You know what? It is so amazing, and we salute Congress and Senate for really, actually now making SEDE responsive to the call of the times. Mr. Chairman, if I may, with regards to where are we now, it is so amazing that actually we can claim now that cooperativism at the time that there is so much deep inequality, a threat of violent extremism and climate change, that I guess the 18,000 active cooperatives with some 11 million members are now the countervailing force against climate change and violent extremism. Mr. Chairman, if I show to you, these are former combatants of the New People's Army. They are now organized into cooperatives. I'd like to concretize that later with the next presentation. Also, these are actually members of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Would you believe this, Mr. Chairman? We were in Munay, Coracora, Lanao del Norte a month ago. We met their commander, Bravo, now the member of the parliament, Abdullah Makapaar. And then in 2 weeks' time, we were able to organize the one that the combatants, 10,000 of them from different fronts, 100 fronts, one front, one cooperative.
Chairman,
Yes, yeah.
maybe you will focus.
Yes, I will actually.
You're preaching to the converted, ha?
Yeah.
Pro-cooperators kami dito.
Anyway, I just would like, no,
You don't have to
I
convince
just
us,
make it fast, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
no?
thank you.
Just some highlights on what are, because when we strengthen CDA, it is these actually problems that we are resolving. And this is now what's happening now. Excuse me, please. Next slide, please. And so along that line, I would like really to emphasize that strengthening CDA is supposed to be responsive to hunger and poverty, inequity, climate change, and violent extremism. Mr. Chairman, it seems that it is so broad a statement that is the reason why I'm trying to put that in concrete terms. Anyway, let me continue now, please. That is really the truth of the matter now, countervailing force. And then there is now a new revolution, cooperative revolution, that will fight hunger and poverty to uproot the root causes of war. And so next, please. And so along that line, I would like to state here, and tomorrow we're going to have a meeting with the Chief of Staff of Secretary Anyo together with Mr. Edwin here, so that we can plan now. Because when we say now that we are into natural task force to end local communist armed conflict, actually CDA, Mr. Chairman, is the one putting this into motion. Next, please. And so along that line, I would like to emphasize that. Next, please. And so, yeah, I need not emphasize that anymore. Anyway, I've mentioned that the in-pays are an organization.
Chairman, yeah, I'm sorry, the hearing
yeah.
kasi today,
Yeah.
let's focus on the implementation of RA.
Yeah, Mr. I'm sorry.
Please, please, allow me to finish. The Republic Act 11364. No, maybe on another hearing, you can discuss what you've done in the last 2 years.
Yeah,
But
Mr.
right now,
Chairman.
because we have a new law and we
Yeah,
fear, me and Senator Risa, both played an active role in the passage of this law. We just want to see where it's going to now. Because we've been hearing
Yes.
reports na bungi-bungi daw yung stopping ninyo as
Yeah.
supposed to be contained by law. So let's focus on that because you're running out of
So,
time.
yeah, Mr. Chairman,
I have a lunch.
may I know po, because I'm sorry that I
Okay,
have to dwell
please
in this
proceed.
because my point is to tell you where we are now. Now, I'll tell you where we are going. Okay, next, let's just escape this. No, slides. Next, please. Next. DJ, next, please. Okay, cooperative in the Philippines. Perhaps, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I just would like to underscore where are we now with regards to the cooperatives that we are serving. Because in so many meetings in the past, I've been claiming to you that we have about 28,000 cooperatives. But actually, the active there are only 18,000. Why? Because of the under personnel po tayo at under budget. Anyway, I will not dwell on that anymore. Next, please. So, I don't know if I have to underscore this, but the truth of the matter, if we are to strengthen CDA, we have to fill up, even, Mr. Chairman, the 857 plantilla position that we have had, only 734 were filled up. And that many of these are supposed to be in the front line, in the grassroots, but many are assigned in the central office or the regional offices to help in administrative work. But be that as it may, I'll just escape this. Next, please.
No, actually, bring back
yeah.
that slide.
Yeah.
We have the DBM here. Please take note, DBM, because I'll ask you after
Yes, ma'am.
to explain also the situation on the plantilla positions. Go ahead, Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The truth is we are covering about 16 extension offices, very much undermanned, and that I guess we have to bring this out to the attention of the DBM because in Section 3 of the new law, which states there that the DBM and the Department of Finance shall provide the mechanism to ensure the availability of resources. But strengthening today with the resources is really, we cannot prove equal to the task. Next, please. And so along that line, I just broken down because, Mr. Chairman, I would like to underscore this. We are still called extension offices. When in fact, our regional offices should really be empowered to reach out to the vulnerable sectors. That is the problem. Perhaps that could be a focus of some amendment. Next, please. Next, yeah. And so, Mr. Chairman, if I may just continue on this, that is the reality that actually many of our CDS so are supposed to be frontline there. Would you believe that even in, for example, we are from Mindanao, in Camiguin, I was there lately. Siko, who is the one in charge? One province, we don't even have CDS really assigned there. Parang part-time lang din papunta niya ron because he is assigned in another province. So that is, I just would like to put that in this court. And yet we have over 100 cooperatives there na kailangan talaga ng tulong. Anyway, next please. Next. So, Chairman, I'd like to underscore this. Like, for example, we have about 1,634 cities and municipalities in the Philippines. You know what? Each CDS has to cover an average of 7 cities and 7 municipalities. So, in every province, isa lang po at 2 CDS. So, with all of these mandates that are given to CDA, 37 at that now, how do we now achieve this, perform well along that line? Next, please. Ito po, ang kuha natin, no, mga operating. So, ang kuha po natin, like for example, I came from the Department of Agriculture. Ang amin pong assigned doon sa mga frontliners namin, 1:10 Farmers Association. Dito po sa amin is 1:73 or 1:110 cooperatives. And so along that line, di ba po, when you were saying, Chairman, would you explain to us why is it that you have 28,000 registered cooperative and only 18,000 are actually active? Well, sana we have a lot of people because sana po naka-comply ang lahat ang naging active. We could have reached actually 50,000 now. Pero we are so much undermanned and that is the reason why we cannot really prove equal to the task. Yes, please? So yun po yan. I just would like to, to really emphasize why there is a need. Because strengthening CDA is not just by law. It is actually by manpower and by resources. Okay, next please. So ito po ang kuan natin, no? I just would like to show that na ang frontliners po natin ay ito lang ang kuan kasi designated po sila sa technical position. Yan lang po, 732 personnel. Yes, yes, yes. But Mr. Chairman, we are supposed to be 800 plus. Yun na nga po ang nakapagtaka eh. In last po kwan, in 2016, a law has been approved, and that is the Credit Surety Fund law. And yet, during the time, I have been promised by BSP, Chairman, huwag kang mag-alala. During that time, I was informed by the top officials na you can have at least 1 billion. 500,000 pa rin. Ganun, so, yun na po. Even that particular law has not been put into motion because of the lack of personnel and manpower.
Question,
Yes,
Chairman.
yes, sir.
On the 732 personnel that you're saying, on the plantilla positions given to you by DBM, are they all filled up? In
Ito po,
other
sir,
words, ilan ba yung binigay, ilan ba ang positions dapat para sa inyo?
supposed to be 857, sir.
So
Mr.
there is,
Senator.
what you're saying is there's about 120,
Yeah, ang wala.
125.
Until now, we cannot fill up because there's no budget for that.
Okay,
So,
we'll
yun
ask
po
the
eh. Tapos na yung CSF law eh. Yun na nga pong problema. Our target, sabi ko sa BSP, we have to increase the CSF because it is the call of the times. Chairman, can you come here in Antique because we want to consult ko, ma'am, wala talaga kaming budget, wala pa kaming personnel. Yun po ang talagang problema. We are now targeting this year additional 50 CSF cooperatives. Ilan lang kami ngayon? 54 at that. Oh. Hindi po kami inalaw mag-fill up ng kuan ng CSC. Yun ang problema. Kaya nga po, I'm so sad to tell you, Mr. Senator, Madam Senator, yun pa. Kasi talagang kami, ngayon po, even 857, we cannot fill up. We, in fact po, under the new setup, we presented it to OPCCB and the Civil Service 2 weeks ago. Sa ilan yan, Chairman, sabi ko, alam mo, if you have to prove equal to the SAC, imagine times 3 ang aming function. We need at least 2,400. Sabi niya, oh my God, you cannot do that with your budget. Yun na nga po eh. With this now, kaya ang sinasabi po natin, kasi sasabihin lang po sa amin, na Chairman, tapos na kasi ang budgetary period, na late kayo, kasi although na-approve na ang law, pero yung proseso niyan ay hindi pa. Yun po, Mr. Senator, ang kuwan po namin. Because this is an extraordinary development po. This is an extraordinary development. We cannot just think as usual. Kasi po, may bagong law eh. And so along that line, it is our intention that we go outside the box na siguro naman may exception dyan pag may law. Wala po. Ang sabi lang po sa amin, maghintay ka. Sabi ko, paano ito? Maghintay ka. Kasi progressive yan. Every year siguro, baka ganito madagdag. Sabi ko, ay, pastilan. Yun lang po talaga. I'm sorry to say that, no? So along that line, may I now continue? Please. So ito po, no, I need not go into this, pero gusto ko lang ipakita, number of municipalities, number of cities, number of province, yan lang po talaga ang mga tao namin sa Kwan. And so along that line, given daw the new mandate, how can you, if we are undermanned, to do that?
Okay,
Mr.
Chairman,
Chairman,
parang
yes.
we have a lot of resource persons that are, I'm sure, are ready to answer your
Yes.
accusations or your insinuations, including the CSC. Maganda siguro, okay, so problem number 1 natin, kulang tayo ng tao.
Yun po.
Okay, what's the second problem? Para we can move quickly.
Actually, hindi lang tao po, pati na, that goes with it, of course, the budget, the resources. Kasi by this time, if we go into, kasi tatlo po yan eh, developmental, regulatory, and actually, adjudication. We're an acquisitive judicial body. Now, this time, to really put this into motion to achieve our goals along that line, we should have manpower and budget. Mr. Chairman, while other agencies are into billions already, for 30 years, naglalaro lang kami nagsimula kami ng 200 million, 300 million. Ay, salamat, 2015, when I reported as chairman, 500 million na. Tapos ngayon po, ay salamat, 600 na. Mr. Senator, while all others are already playing to, for example, I mentioned the OTC, for example, is just Office of Transport Cooperative. It is even billions. Would you believe that? Isa lang type ko. Kami po, ilang type namin? 26 types of cooperative. 11 million members. Tapos, dubli pa ang kanilang kwan sa amin, ang budget nila. Kaya nga po, I'm sorry to say this with passion, Mr. Senator, Madam Senator, I'm sorry, but being the chairman of this office, I want to prove equal to the task. How do we, yung sasabi ko, ano ang pagtingin nyo sa CDA? Superman, Wonder Woman? Eh yung mga IPs na organize namin, ilan yon? Sabi sa amin ng Malacanang, you have to organize the IPs. Sir, ilan? That is actually 15 million. And along that line, if I may say this, how do we? Kaya nga napipilitan lang kami talagang pumunta sa hinterlands kahit wala kami mga budget. Alam mo, Mr. Senator, naawa ko sa mga IPs. Ang kwan po talaga na, sir, we are from Bukidnon. Tingnan po ninyo ron. Thousands of hectares are lying idle. Why? They don't have any training center. Dumating po doon ang PLDT Credit Cooperative. Chairman, kawawa naman pala talaga ang mga IPs. Kami na ang magpapatayo. Imagine that. We are like beggar. Sabi nila, hindi ko ka na magalala dyan. Kawawa naman. So along that line, I just would like to underscore that reality through Mr. Chairman, that when we strengthen our office, please, kahit nga po wala pa yung strengthening, hindi nga namin mapilapan po ang aming unfilled vacant position. Ito po yung pa natin. 125 vacant. Tapos we are asking for another 2,400. Are we dreaming? Ayun ang sabi sa akin Chairman, do not dream. Kasi tapos na ang budgetary period, wala ka na dyan. Sabi ko, excuse me sir, the truth of the matter is, there is now a law. So can we think outside the box, business as usual? Can we now return? Because there is already this law signed by the President. But nevertheless, may I just continue? Next, please. So ito po talaga ang kwa natin ngayon. No? Ito po nakakatawa We are like beggars. Sasabihin po sa amin, you need to train your cooperative so that they become compliant. You go to TESDA. Nag-sign po kami ng agreement with TESDA. You need budget kasi we have about 2,000, more than 2,000 agrarian farm beneficiary cooperative. We want that they comply kasi kawawa naman po sila, cooperative sila. Now they own the land but they don't control the mode of production and marketing. You go to Secretary Casesiones, you sign. Alam po ninyo, nakakatawa kami. Sabihin, anong kailangan nila chairman ng ARBs? Sir, hindi ma-comply yan. Hindi ma-comply. Magkano ang bayad sa kwan? Sige kami nang babayad. Magkano ang training? Sige kami na. Ganon din po sa DA, ganon din po sa DLG, DSWD, BFAR, of course in CIP now. Yun po talaga ang kwan. You create partnership so that you can comply with your mandate. Wala kaming budget. You want mga mananagat sa Negros, kawawa. They are forced to sell their fish at a very low price. Wala silang ice plant, wala sila. Chairman, you go to DTI, you ask for this one. Yun na nga po So it's about time you strengthen us. Ang ganda po sana talaga. If we are the one, developmental, to go into that. Next, please. So ito po talaga ang kwa namin, itong mga kwa namin. And we are now signing an agreement with in CIP with Secretary Chairman Allen Capuyan na ang sabi niya, Chairman, i-organize yung mga IPs because they are now the #1 recruit of in PAs. Kaya nga sabi ko, sige. So we are everywhere now, Mr. Senator. But the truth of the matter is, how can we now also from our own end, lip service na lang po ba ang kuha namin kung wala kaming budget? Yan po talaga ang katotohanan, lalo na sa NTF, LCAC. So, timeline for, ito po ang mga timeline natin. Ito, now I go on where we are now and what we're doing. And so finally, we salute the committee for actually coming up with this House Bill 2000 in the latter part of early part of 2018. Ito po ang nangyari na House Senate Bill number 2063 followed by consultation with the cooperative sector. So ito po ang nangyari ang aming mga ginagawa mga consultation on strengthening on the IRR, implementing rules and regulation. And Mr. Honorable Senator, I can tell you, we have not left any stone unturned. We actually did our very best because, ang sabi ko nga po earlier, it is in whose name and for us cause we are in CDA4. So yun po ang mga ginawa naming consultation all over the Philippines, all over the country. And not only that, after having done this, we actually also call up with the convergence with other agencies of government, special meeting with them so that they can also have an input. In all of this, as I underscored to Dr. Gary here and Edwin, it is in your name, that in whose name and for us cause we are being strengthened. And you must have a say on this. Kaya we listen to you. And Mr. Chairman,
Let's wrap up 5 minutes.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to tell you this. Na somehow, based on that IRR, and if you will give us a special time for that, we'll present to you. Meron po kaming additional 29 provision, insertion, mga new terms. Yun po, based on the suggestion of our cooperative leaders who participated in that nationwide consultation. So ito po yung mga namin, ginawang consultation. Next, please. Yeah, ito po yan. Ito po yan. Oh, next. Uh, ito po, just to show to you that we really went around and really find time to, next please, yeah, to consult. And so ito po yung and so as a matter of conclusion, Mr. Chairman, yeah, actually, it was already a high time for this agency to be strengthened. And thank you for that. We salute you for that. And the whole sambayan ng Cooperative po ay really namamanga po sa inyong ginawa. So from 15 powers po, we now claim about 37 at that. And then, so that we are able to implement, now, we need manpower and we need resources. That is actually, we would like to unsecure that truism. So, ito po yung mga current po natin sa personnel natin. We have that. Kasi, Mr. Chairman, ang limiting factor din is, Chairman, huwag mong palakasin ang inyong regional office. Bakit? Extension lang kayo eh. Mayroon palang limitation sa ganon. Kaya ang pangyayari namin, 37 mandate yan. Tapos, at Mr. Chairman, it's about time that I would like to tell you to appeal to you and to Honorable Senator Rontiveros. Talaga po yan ang problema namin ngayon. Punta po kayo sa aming regional office, we have 16. But there are only 5 offices in the regions, madam, who can claim they have their own office. We have been a wandering Jew for the past 30 years. Ilong po ang aming po mga inaalagaran, yung aming sinisilbihan po mga cooperative, they're in the 6th floor, 7th floors. Kami dampa, nasa mga pagrenta. Sila, gumagamit sila ng mga Toyota. Kami FX lang, motor lang. Yun na nga po eh, how do we now? Kaya ang ko talaga is still boiled down to budget. 30 years of having no budget is too much.
Chairman, I don't agree with your analogy. Just because you're in a motorcycle and you're servicing people that have FX and all these nice, wala na yatang FX. Wala na yatang Tamaraw. Tamaraw yung panahon na Tamaraw. Wala na yatang Tamaraw. But servicing nice vehicles, it doesn't matter. Because that's really, hindi dapat garboso yung government official. And you don't need a large building. I've seen a lot of good and efficient government offices run with small office rented out. As a matter of fact, even the Court of Appeals in Cagayan de Oro, it's based in Mindanao, yung Court of Appeals. Wala naman silang building dyan, nag-rent out man sila. Humingi lang sila sa akin na amin ng rent. So, although we have a budget for their building now, but that's the Court of Appeals. And they're happy to be renting area. So, it's a bit misplaced, Mr. Chairman. That analogy of yours does not sit well with me. And
No. My point there is that, for example, here in our office in CR, we're paying 400,000 every month renta. Ngayon po, kung pinatayo namin yung building, hindi na kami magrenta. It is for the advantage of government that
Matagal
we
na natin
can have.
plano yan. Sige, let's start. You've discussed several problems. Maybe we can start trying to discuss solutions to this problem. But remember, Chairman, siguro balikan na lang natin in another hearing yung mga programs na sinabi mo sa amin many years ago. Although the job of the CDA is developmental, you're supposed to go and train. You're supposed to go and organize. You're supposed to go and fix intra and inter-cooperative disputes. Yan ang trabaho talaga ninyo, di ba? Hindi po kayo DA, hindi po kayo namimigay ng baboy. Hindi po ninyo trabaho ng DTI, hindi po kayo namimigay ng shared service facility. Trabaho talaga ng DTI yan, di ba? So, the funding that you're talking about, kung kakulangan ng tao, yan, pwede natin discuss yan. But for the record, Chairman, ba't hindi ka pumunta sa akin nung budget hearing?
Alam po ninyo, actually,
Ano
I was
nangyari?
requested to see yung kwan po ni Senator Recto din.
Why Senator Recto?
Sa Ways and Means daw po eh.
No, but he's not even the chairman of Ways and Means.
No, during the time. Kasi,
No. I am talking about the 2020 budget call.
Yeah.
When we passed the budget, I did not see your guni-guni in my office. I did
Yeah.
not see your face in my office. Sa Tinudra.
Yeah.
Wala yun.
Sorry, Mr.
So yun
Senator.
na, now you're complaining about the budget, bumagsak pa.
Yeah.
Yung iba binigyan ko ng budget, NCIP and all that. O sino may kasalanan na yun? We could have had their budget. We could
Yeah.
have added to your budget. Please don't blame the DBM for everything because they give you a basic budget, then you approach Congress, and then you approach the Senate, and then you ask for additional budget. Now you're blaming that you have no budget. Sa totoo lang, di ko naman kayo nakita. Totoo lang. Because I
Yeah.
would have helped you.
I'm sorry,
Nobody
Mr.
went to see
Yeah.
me, and you cannot blame anybody else but yourselves. I don't know why. Maybe you were in limbo
No.
because you didn't know what
No,
your,
no, no, no.
your functions would be after the signing of
No,
the new law.
actually, Mr. Chairman,
What was
if I
your
may.
excuse that you did not see us for additional budget?
Actually, I'll tell you this. When I was appearing in the Senate before, I was already promised in 2015, 1 billion. Pero tinanong po yung aming former secretary. Sinabi po noon ni Senator Recto, what do you think is the function of CDA? The function of CDA is so simple. It is to accredit the cooperative so that they can become tax exempt. What? Sabi na, no, that's not correct. Chairman, you tell them that I stated there, I was promised, Mr. Senator, at least 1 billion in 2015. Pero it's all just promise then. Kaya nga sabi ko noon,
Mapapamura ako dito, Chairman. Just
Oh,
this,
yeah.
stop raising 2015 because we were not even senators in 2015. So I don't
Pero
know
I'm-
what you guys were talking about 2015.
I'm just
What
sharing with
happened
you
last
my-
year,
Yeah.
Chairman? No? I know you.
Yeah.
We could have given you that
Well,
if you went to see us. So
well-
please stop complaining about your lack of budget if you do not ask for it, because the DBM will only give what they can to these agencies. Yung increase na sa amin na yan.
Well, I should have really approached you, Your Honor, but the problem is that I have been doing that before and nothing had happened.
So
along
then
that
you
time-
gave up and now you're complaining.
I'm not giving up actually, and that's the reason why I'm appearing before you now, and with passion, I'd like to state this. Yun lang po talaga.
I
Pero
had you
if there
guys
are
called.
some-
You didn't even visit me in my office. I haven't seen you. The only time I saw you was
Yeah.
last Wednesday because we had a visitor from Argentina.
Because, well, to be honest with you, alam po ninyo kung minsan intriga sa birokrasya, huwag ka mapakita kay Senator Suberi. Galit siya sa'yo. Yun po ang narinig ko. Hindi. You ask Cesar.
Eh,
Yun
ba't
na,
ako galit sa'yo? Hindi
Hindi.
naman ako galit sa'yo.
Hindi ko.
Or it could have been anybody.
No,
That means you,
yeah,
because you,
I'm sorry.
you
but-
could have sent your executive director.
No, I'm sorry to tell you this. Sabi niya, si Senator Suberi wants you to be out already. Why should I now go to you and appeal to you? Huwag mo akong palisin. I mean, if God is closing a door, He opens
Who has told you? Who told you that? Did you hear it from me?
It's from
Did you hear it from me?
No,
Then
sir.
you apologize to that committee because you're insinuating something. You
No, no,
want to
no,
be
no.
detained.
No.
For lying.
No, yun po ang narinig ko, sir. I'm
Ayun.
sorry.
So ba't hindi
Oh.
mo ako hinarap?
Yun na nga, you're a friend. Kaya I'm sorry, I should have.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I should have done that, actually.
Maybe the reason why the committee wants you out is because you're not acting enough to support your CDA. You cannot complain about your budget when you don't ask for it.
Yeah, I'm sorry for
If
that.
you don't ask,
No,
if you're not
yeah.
ready to defend your budget and you're not ready to defend your organization, then you might as well just leave the organization. Do
Yeah.
not blame everybody else.
I am not.
Because
I'm not.
if you did not hear it from me, ngayon galit ako sa'yo.
No, actually.
No, you
yeah.
listen to me
Yeah.
first. Ngayon galit ako sa'yo. Because now you're blaming the fault na walang budget ang CDA dahil hindi galit daw kami sa'yo. Galit daw ako sa'yo. Hindi mo naman ako kinausap. Hindi naman ako galit sa'yo.
Yeah.
No? I never told you that.
I was misinformed. I'm
Now,
sorry.
you're
Yeah.
asking, galit na galit ka dahil lumiit yung budget mo. Wala ni isa sa inyo, for the record, bumisita sa amin at humingi ng additional budget ninyo. For the record.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to make this meeting, the first meeting of the Committee on Cooperatives, an exciting one, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
If you want action to happen with this new CDA charter, we need new ideas, new motivation. Whether it comes from you or from somebody else, I do not care. Kasi naawa ako sa kooperatiba. Naawa ako sa 18,000 kooperatiba na nangangailangan ng tulong ninyo.
And many are micro at that.
And yes,
Yeah, that's
but
correct.
you know, you do not need superhuman people. You can utilize the 725 people, 23 people that you have there, inspire them to go out and do developmental work. We discussed the Kapatid program. What happened to the Big Brother program?
Yeah, we have
What
that.
happened when we asked the big cooperatives to help the small cooperatives? Utilize the billion peso cooperatives that are there to assist the CDA. Make that partnership. We cannot be in our high horse, di ba, on a throne, and telling them what to do dahil tayo ay ang nasa gobyerno. Hindi po. Dapat yan, sharing ng functions, carrying your load. Ika nga, sabi ni Senator Gordon.
Along
Now,
that line.
no, wait. I'm not done yet. You never approach us for your budget. Now, I'm going to ask the DBM on the problems on the personnel. I'm really sad that you had to mention na galit ako sa inyo. Eh, intriga yun eh. Dapat ninapitan mo ako.
Grabing intriga.
Well, whatever it is.
Actually
Mr.
nga,
Chair.
now, I'd like to tell you this. Somebody wrote even Malacanang Copy Furniture Office destroying me. You know that? I don't know.
Yeah, but how come you did not approach me?
Alam po ninyo, ganito po ito ang kuminsan eh. I don't really know, but what I did is that I became grassroots mobilizer. I'm an NGO. I came from the NGO. You know what? I'm sorry. But when I was director of Region 10, Mr. Senator, we are already friends. That was 2010. I'm region director.
Alam mo yung nag-approach sa akin?
Oh.
Tama, I just reminded by my staff. All the people who approached me were all regarding appointments. All appointments. Pa-appoint dito, pa-appoint dyan. Dyan sa bagong batas na yan. Alam mo sinabi ko sa kanya? Ayoko. I don't want because may intriga pa ako. Tanong mo kay Benji. Benji is may inaanak, ha? Sorry. Yung anak niya, inaanak ko. Hindi pala siya. Matanda na pala siya. Yung anak niya, inaanak ko. Pero, I told him, di ba? What did I say, Benj? Sa dami-dami ninyong kaibigan ko sa cooperative sector, I would like to remain neutral kasi may magtatampo sa akin. Let your application be by merit. Na yung hindi ko maintindihan, bakit naman pinapagalitan niyo yung budget, yung gobyerno, sa budget ninyo dahil pinangakuan kayo ng 2005. Minsan, ang vice chairman at kami, hindi nyo linapitan, na hawak pa ni she's also vice chair of the Committee on Finance. So wala talaga. And that is a majority floor leader. Hindi lulusot yan kung hindi, I was able to help the the NEA restore their budget for rural electrification. We added additional 500 million for rural electrification. Yours truly yan, dito sa Senate, ang tumulong sa kanya together with Sani Angara. We could have done the same for you, but you never approached me, so we never thought you had a problem with your budget. Correct? Kasi kung walang lumalapit sa amin, paano namin malalaman may problema kayo sa budget ninyo? So do not use that as an excuse in this hearing. It's a massive failure and fake news. So, Madam Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair, kilala nyo naman po ako, madalang lang ako sumimangot sa hearing. But I couldn't help myself po nung nagsimulang may sinasabi na mga insinuations nga. Dahil those are matters na pwedeng-pwede pong i-clarify before the hearing sa pag-courtesy call sa chairman para panay policy issues lang mapag-usapan dito sa hearing. And for the record po sa lahat ng mga resource persons na nandito and most or all of the resource persons know this, Mr. Chairman. Ang chairman talaga napaka-consistent mula pa sa pagpasa ng co-op code hanggang sa bagong batas, hindi lang hanggang sa pagpasa ng batas, but exercising oversight function na tamang napapatupad dito, including in terms of the budget every year. So if the chairman would find it proper, Mr. Chairman, I would move na yung mga improper words that were said, statements that were made, be struck off the record dito pong committee hearing, Mr. Chair. I so move.
There's a motion and not objected to. Please strike off those records insinuated by the chairman of the CDA because none of them were true. None of them are true. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair, for that. So let's ask now the DBM on this issue on staffing. As it seems, their request, I think the plantilla position for the Cooperative Development Authority is about 800 plus. They have not filled it yet. They only have about 730 plus personnel. Is there a reason why it is not being filled up, Madam?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, the authorized number of positions for the CDA is 857 positions, of which 747 is filled. So that remain, the 110 positions are still unfilled up to date.
What are the reasons? Is it civil service or have they approached you to fill up the positions?
No, sir. We have been supporting the CDA for the past, since 2018, because we have created 109, actually 109 positions in 2018 to 2019. So that consists of the regulatory division positions for the regulatory division, for the Mimaropa, and for the CSF, that's the Credit Surety
So
Fund.
what you're saying is
division.
from 2018 to 2019, nadagdagan nyo sila ng 109
9 positions.
positions.
Yes, sir.
So mas konti pa sila noon. They were like 600 plus.
Yes, yes, sir.
And then you added them another 109 positions.
Yes, sir.
Will there be in the future a chance to fill up the balance of 100 plus positions?
Sir, yung pong unfilled positions is, although it's not in the agency budget, it's under the MPBF. Meron naman po tayong standby appropriations for that. It's just that we are waiting for the agency to fill positions.
ASEC, you're the one raising your hand. Are you in charge of personnel hiring or positions to be filled up? ASEC, please.
Yeah. Good morning po. Good morning. Dito po kasi, Mr. Chair, sa vacant positions, dahil nga na-approve yung CSF department at saka yung isang division pa, meron na kaming na-approve. Ang lahat ng empleyado nag-apply kasi it's a higher position dito sa mga hawak nila. So most of the new hired dito sa bagong department and division are coming from inside. So naging bakante yung sa baba. Yun yung 100 plus na ibinigay ng bagong department and division. Nung i-fill up na sana namin, in fact, yung iba nag-interview na nag-ano na kami massive, naabutan ng pag-approve ng charter. And in fact, ano po siya, may budget, talagang funded po. Naabutan siya, ang civil service, nag-inquire kami, prohibit us to fill it up. Kasi daw po, nasa reorganization kami. Sumulat kami with civil service. In fact, meron na po kaming initial meeting with OPCCB para nag-request kasi kami ng panibagong position dito sa bagong batas. Ang advice po sa amin ng OPCCB is to hire a new position na facing kasi hindi siya maibigay kasi madami po yung aming hinihingi. Opo, marami po yung
So,
hinihingi
di
na.
ba, ASEC, the law, I clearly put it para
Yeah.
hindi magalit yung mga tao natin sa CDA.
Yes, of course.
Walang positions na mawawala sa
Wala
kanila.
po, wala
It's
po.
to be retained.
Yes po, everybody will be retained. Pero po, yung vacant position ngayon na 100 plus, yun yung funded talaga na gusto naming i-filled up bago yung nire-request namin na bago.
How come they're saying that you are on reorganization mode?
Yun po ang sabi ng civil service. In fact, last Thursday, we had a meeting with civil service again. And in-advise kami na sumulat sa civil service, pumunta mismo sa chairman, mag-apila. Kasi po, kung mag-facing na kami, yung advice ng OPCCB, yung aming vacant positions ngayon na funded, mahuhulog siya na bagong hired. Lugi po, hindi kami makapagdagdag. So yun po yung inaapila sana namin, Mr. Chair, na magpatulong kami for your intervention to advise civil service na yung vacant positions na hindi naman affected dito sa bagong organization ng CDA ay ma-filled up po sana kasi budgeted po siya. Yun po yung problem
Where
namin.
is the bottleneck now? Sa civil service?
Civil service po.
Maybe ask,
Sana to allow us na i-filled up yung vacant positions na funded naman. Kasi yung OPCCB, nag-aantay sila ng facing na bagong creation na positions. Hindi namin magawa yun until hindi po kami ma-aprobahan ng civil service. Kasi mahuhulog siya. Yung vacant position ngayon, kung hindi namin siya ma-filled up, doon sa first facing na ibibigay namin sa OPCCB, parang mahuhulog siya na bago lang din. So, hindi kami makapagdagdag ng tao.
So may we ask Attorney Villacorta? Attorney, are you in charge of the CDA or the CSC?
I was just tasked last Friday, Your Honor. However, sir, with respect to reorganization, if an organization is under the org, appointments of new plantillas, hindi po allowed siya during reorganization because wala pa naman po yung approved staffing pattern coming from the DBM. Wala pa siya mga item number. So, appointments of new positions or promotions during reorganization is not allowed, Your Honor.
However, Attorney, for the record, the law specifically states that all positions, plantilla positions of the CDA will remain the same. In other words,
Yes, sir.
walang change yan. So there
Yes,
was really no reorganization except for leadership, meaning chairman of the CDA and all the members of the board. Yun lang ang opening for my understanding when we passed the law, para hindi magkakagulo dun sa plantilla.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
sa civil service po, hindi po siya new positions, yung if-filled up namin. Yun yung pong mga na-vacant dahil mga nag-apply sila sa bagong department at saka sa division. Hindi po yun bago. Yung bago po nahihingiin po namin sa OPCCB, may arrangement na po kami with OPCCB. Yung if-filled up po na inaapila namin, hindi po yun new creation.
Okay po. Sir, I think,
Yes, Attorney.
sorry po, Your Honor. Because po under reorganization po kayo, mag-a-apply po ang Republic Act 6656. Yan po yung government reorganization wherein yung mga positions niya po yan, kaya kailangan po siguro makipag-usap kayo with the chairperson to clarify things. Na because pag sinabi pong reorganization includes plantilla positions, yan po ang interpretation ng Civil Service Commission.
We'll just have a second meeting. We'll invite our chairperson to join us. Anyway, kaibigan naman natin yan. We work with her in the ease of doing business. So we'll ask the chairperson to join us in the next hearing. Kasi it has to be somebody that make a decision. Hindi naman pwedeng maglimbo lang yung CDA na yung 100 plus positions na yan ay mawawala and they'll apply for it again. The law was very clear that these positions will not disappear. These posts will not disappear. And this personnel, Section 24 in the transitory provisions, here, CDA created under Republic Act 6939 is hereby reorganized, and its employees are hereby absorbed in the authority created under this act, in accordance with staffing patterns subject to civil service rules, regulations, and DBM rules and regulations. So, we'll ask the CSC chair to join us the next meeting. Also, maybe the DBM also. Well, Secretary Avisado is very busy, but somebody that can make a decision. Well, can you answer for that, ma'am? What is the position of the DBM, particularly on this staffing? Kasi sinasabi po nila, wala daw item, sabi ng CSC, wala daw item, babalik daw sila sa DBM. So the DBM has to certify that there are these items, if I'm not mistaken.
Sir, yung pong 110 positions still with the CDA, the items are still with the CDA. For the strengthening of the CDA in view of the reorganization, they need to propose to the DBM for the strengthening of the CDA. So, as of now, wala pa naman po silang submission for the strengthening of the CDA. So that means yung pong existing positions nila and the 110 positions still with them for filling if it will be the position of the CSC also.
Executive Director
Yes,
Ray,
sir. Good morning
ano bang
po, sir.
nangyari doon?
May I-
Nag-request ba kayo?
Yes, sir. May I backtrack a bit, sir, para may pagdugtong-dugtong ko lang yung mga pangyayari po. Doon po sa 857 approved plantilla position, ay mayroon pa po kaming hindi na i-fill up na 110 according to our DBM. Yung pong 110 po na ito ay yun po ay mayroong confusion sa pag-fill up. Kasi merong lumabas na opinion from the OPCCB na pwede kaming mag-fill up. However, nung kinausap na namin ang CSC, sabi nila po according to their issued opinion, hindi pwede kasi nasa effective na yung law, sabi po ng CSC. So ngayon po, ang amin pong hinihiling sa CSC, sumulat na po kami na kung pwedeng makipag-usap po kami kay chairman mismo ng Civil Service Commission para mas maayos yung kilos namin kasi deadlock na po kami, hindi na
Ito
po kami
yung sa 100 plus positions.
110 po, yes sir.
I think what we should be doing now, prioritizing, is to fill up that 110
Yes sir.
muna.
Yes sir.
And then whatever you request for the strengthening of the new positions for the strengthened CDA charter, saka na yun. Unahin na
Opo.
muna natin itong 110, di ba?
Actually sir, meron na rin po kaming at the board level, meron na po kaming staffing pattern na proposed. Pero nga nagkakaproblema kami dito sa pag-appoint ng 110. Pero meron na po kaming naka-draft na staffing pattern, but this is for processing, evaluation of our OPCCB, and at the same time, Civil Service Commission. Yun po yung...
Already have the 110 positions filled with personnel. Kasi
Ah.
kung may listahan kayo, di i-endorse ko yun kay CSC and to DBM Secretary Avisado.
Sige sir, magsasubmit po kami noong mga na-interview na tapos na sa proseso.
Sige.
Yeah po.
On terms of budget, ma'am, who can discuss the budgeting? Kasi bumaba nga yung budget nila from 2009 to 2020.
Yes,
From
sir.
609 million to 576 million. Why is that so, ma'am?
Yes, sir. So, with regard to the budget for 2020, please note po na the law was signed only in August 2019. So, it's already beyond the cut-off date for the finalization of the budget levels po. So, and also, I think the good senators are aware about the cash budget system that we are implementing at DBM. And the utilization rate for disbursement of CDE is only at more or less 90%. So that is one of the impact of the depletion of their budget. And
Explain, ma'am, why 90%? What was
this
meant?
disbursement po ng
Absorptive
No,
capacity ng kanyang agency to utilize their funds,
in terms
right?
of disbursement
Yes,
po.
yes.
So it's with the I think the answer will be with CDA. It's not
I
with
think I'll ask the
DBM po.
executive director.
Yes po, sir.
ED, bakit na ganun na 90% lang hindi nyo nagastos fully yung pera ninyo?
Actually sir, ang utilization po natin sir ay mataas. Nasa 98% yung sinasabi po nilang utilization.
Kasi may system ng DBM na yun. It's cash basis. If you don't spend your funds for your projects and programs, ang nangyayari, tinitignan nila yon, hindi mo kaya, sa susunod ng taon, babawasan kayo. Kasi hanggang kaya nyo lang. So is there a reason why?
Ito pong may isa po kaming project, yung patungkol po yan sa procurement namin. Medyo nagkaroon ng konting delay yung pong procurement namin sa isang project. Yung pong Mindanao Peace and Normalization project. Mindanao Peace and Normalization project po namin. Kinakailangan pong maisayos po yung pagpo-procure. So along the way po, naabutan po kami ng Disyembre.
Can you brief us, short briefing lang on the Mindanao, ano yun? Mindanao?
Peace and Normalization.
Okay, what were you supposed to procure?
Ang pinoprocure po doon ay meron po kaming approved project na dalawa po yung component niya. Number one is to give assistance to the IDPs, yung pong internally displaced persons. From there po, magkakaroon din po sila ng ayuda sa tinatawag nating mini rice mill. Mini rice mill po. And then sa pagpo-procure po ng mini rice mill, kinakailangan may mga linawing bagay. So medyo doon po konti kaming
Magkano yung
na-delay.
mini rice mill dapat yung i-procure? Na-procure ba siya? Natuloy ba? Hindi.
Pero,
Nabili nyo na ba o hindi? Ang nabid na.
pero naabutan po kami ng Disyembre hanggang ito pong January.
Magkano
It was released,
magkano yung rice mill na mini rice mill yun? 72 million? Trabaho ba ninyo yan? Magbigay ng mini rice mill? 72 million and you're complaining that wala kayong pera pang ibang projects and programs? Whose idea was this, by the way? Benji?
Sir?
Actually, that was inserted in the Senate by Senator J.V. Ejercito. Actually, it's a total of 86 million, Mr. Chair. 6 million goes to asset recovery program of CDA because we were able to get some assets from foreclosures of some properties of cooperatives. Second is we have additional 6.5 million for the Cooperative Film Festival, and the rest goes to the Mindanao normalization program, which is composed of two components. One is livelihood, and parang pag nabigyan ka ng mini-rice mill, there is a livelihood component.
Hindi ko alam
Like
yung
that.
program na yan. Ha? chairman ako ng Committee on Cooperatives, so we have a vice chair. Did you know the program? Hindi namin alam itong, I think in the cooperative sector that are listening to me here now, all agree with me, they're nodding their heads. I think medyo lumihis tayo ng konti sa trabaho ninyo, Chair. Bakit may 72? This 72 million was to procure one rice mill? How many rice mills are these?
73?
1 million per, 1 million per rice mill? May rice mill ba yung, di ba trabaho ng DA yan? Di ba trabaho ng DA yan? Wala bang COA report ito na did they allow you to purchase this? ED?
Uh,
Did you seek COA approval for the purchase of this equipment?
Meron naman po, sir. Pero galing po siya sa sa insertion po. Congressional insertion. And then, gaya po ng sinasabi ni Sir
Okay.
Oliva, hindi naman.
Hindi yan linagay ng mga congressmen para sa kanilang districts. Where did that program come from? No, with all due respect, kasi alam mo, kami ni Risa, we want to support the cooperative sector, but let's do it right, di ba? We're supposed to be there to train, to assist, to strengthen the cooperative movement. I believe, personally, yung pamimili po ng mga equipment na yan ay trabaho ng ibang ahensya na dapat ka-partner ninyo. Di ba? Hindi naman, wala po sa usapin natin when we came up with the strengthening of the CDA charter na kayo po yung magiging dole-out organization. Because that's the job of because then we're open to a lot of issues on corruption, di ba? We're open to a lot of issues of prioritization of funds. You're saying kulang ang funds nyo, but you had pala 72 million pesos, Chairman, of funds that will going to be utilized to be given to 73 cooperatives. What about the 18,000? What about the 18,000 others? Or even if I look at the scale of cooperatives, what about maybe the thousands of those that are very small, micro, and small cooperatives? Di ba? So, mabibigyan mo itong 73 favored ones, ano na mangyayari dito sa Maybe it would be better to have
Yeah.
utilized the funds if that fund was actually given for, let's say, a partnership with the DA, which has a bigger amount of money by the billions in terms of rice, yung sa rice tarification law, 10 billion a year. Pwede natin itap yun. Kasi cooperatives, ang idea nitong rice tarification law, the 10 billion was supposed to be channeled to the co-ops. It would have been better that you do a partnership with the DA and identify the proper rice cooperatives and farmers, producers, cooperatives. Kaya I'm mabuti with this hearing because I'm dissecting now bakit kayo nabigyan ng 90% approval rating ng DBM, ibig sabihin may 10% hindi nagastos. Ngayon nalalaman namin ni Senator Risa na kaya palang hindi kayo 100% sa disbursement ninyo dahil meron kayong programa na sa pananaw namin, hindi naman dapat sa trabaho ninyo ang pamimigay niyan. Meron naman tayong DTI Shared Service Facilities, and that is 1 billion this year para mamigay po ng mga equipment katulad yan sa kooperatiba. So, saan po tayo na yun? May,
Honorable Chairman, if I may.
Chairman.
Although it happened when I was on leave, the OIC then was ASIC Oliva here. And I guess that is something that we need also to focus. And we have here si Sam Ginomla, the administrator from Mindanao. I guess it is actually advancing peace in Mindanao. And actually, it's they, Norris Dan, Asik Penny, talk to Senator G.V. Ercito. And actually, that was his location inserted.
Don't get me wrong, ha?
Oh, no.
Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
oh.
Ako, taga Mindanao ako. Of
Opo,
course, we
opo.
want to help,
Mm.
especially our Bangsamoro individuals. But even now, hindi na po natin kailangan tulungan ang Bangsamoro dahil meron na
Yeah.
silang 70 billion pesos. Kayong walang pera, sila marami ng pera. When we
Actually-
pass the BARM law.
Actually,
So, wala nang problema yung CDA nila doon as long as the priority is with the CDA Bangsamoro. So, we're trying to dissect lang. So, this is what happened. So, yun pala. So, yan ang pala nangyayari sa
No,
pondo
actually,
ninyo?
we have about 53 cooperatives of former combatants of the MNLF and MILF, especially in Maguindanao. And I guess when the board went there, and there was this big assembly, and 6,000 hectares of rice doon po sa Maguindanao. And yet, nakabilad lang po sa kalsada. Ah,
The chairman,
ah,
again, that's not
oh.
your job. That's not the
It's
job
not my
of the
job,
city.
so I did not
If
actually.
Secretary Dario was here,
Ah.
mumurahin ko silang mga DA, pero
Yeah.
hindi trabaho ninyo,
Yun na nga po.
Secretary.
Pero actually, it was an
Ang
insertion.
trabaho ninyo doon is,
To
ASEC
organize.
Abdul Salam, your job there was to organize. You should have
Yes,
organized.
we have actually.
Yeah, 70 plus cooperatives. Ilan ba yun? Yung
Actually,
yung
formerly
IDPs?
53 and the additional 103
Oh, like,
cooperatives.
100
yes. Oh.
cooperatives. Ang trabaho nyo, mag-organize dyan and pave the way to assistance from your mother organization, the DTI, and the DA. It is not your job to be giving. Kung nandito si Senator Cynthia Villar, minumura-mura na kayo, dapat inimbita ko siya. Pinagalitan na kayong katakot-takot. Kasi trabaho talaga ng DA yan, hindi CDA. We are Cooperative Development Authority. We are not Cooperative Department of Agriculture. Diba? So, yan ang trabaho nila. Now, you're complaining about the lack of funds. It's actually the inefficient use of your funds, if you ask me. Because that 73 million could have been used by your organization for capacity building measures. Now, if you approach Senator JV, at the very least, sana sinabihan mo kami, yung Committee on Cooperatives, kasi hindi nyo kami sinabihan. O yun nga, hindi naman tayo sinabihan din ng mga tao mo. Not your fault, Chairman. Benji, you did not approach me. None of you guys approached us for this particular measure. So, hindi na nga kayo humingi ng tulong sa budget sa amin. At yung pera pa, yung nilalagay pa sa ibang programa na we feel was a bit misaligned. And that's the reason why we came up with a new charter. To be very honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, we had to come up with a new charter to clean the 30-year-old stigma of CDA going into so many different paths, sometimes not in tune with the cooperative movement. Diba? Kaya, let's be honest about it. Now, this is the first hearing of many. I think we should have 2 meetings a month. I'll call one 2 weeks from now. We'll invite the civil service. We'll invite the DBM higher-ups to discuss on this issue. But I really feel that those funds should have been utilized for other things. So there's your answer. You have a lower budget because you have only, correct ma'am? They only have a 90% disbursement rate. Under the cash budgeting system, pag hindi nyo ginastos yung budget nyo, ay titignan nila kung 90%, ay di 90%, then your last budget times 90%. Which basically what happened, nawalan kayo ng ilang milyon dahil hindi nyo na-utilize yung budget nyo. Edie, let's just listen first to DBM and then we'll executive
Yes, sir. Director. Can I just add po na ang 2020 po talaga does not include the budgeting requirement for the expansion of the CDA organization and functions. But nevertheless, we have lump sum funds to take care if there will be additional positions. We have the MPBF. For MOE, we can ask from the contingent fund subject to OP approval. So there is still other ways on how we can get funds for 2020.
That's why they have to convince us now, ma'am, and you're here, they have to convince us now with their future programs na dapat ba natin sila dagdagan? Di ba? Eh kami handang tumulong. This is across the divide. We have the minority and the majority here who want to support the CDA. So, itong hearing na to, gusto namin malaman ano ba dapat talaga function ng bagong CDA. Di ba? Kayo ba'y dapat mamigay ng backhoe? Kayo ba'y dapat mamigay ng baboy? Kayo ba'y dapat mamigay ng manok? Eh, pinapasukan nyo ng trabaho ng kooperatiba, trabaho nila yun eh. Di ba? Kulang yung pera natin. Even if you have 500 million, gamitin natin yan sa procurement ng mga kung ano-anong equipment, hindi ko kasya yung buong budget ninyo. So wag na muna natin puntahan yan. You could have approached us, and I have supported, I increased the funds of General Galvez of the Office of the President. Why? Because tinulungan ko si Chairman Bravo, Commander Bravo.
Yeah.
I had just given him a new road network for inside these camps kasi gusto niya maganda na yung farm to market road niya. At nagbigay po ako ng halos almost 30 million for farm equipments. So that is the proper, we put it under the Pamana Fund,
Yeah.
under the Office of the Peace Process. Yan ang talagang pondo para tumulong sa kanila doon sa conflict area.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Mr.
it's not I don't
Yeah.
think it should be the CDA.
Yeah, actually, Honorable Senator, no, this is what happened. So we were told nga, kaya nakapunta kami ron dahil because of your project, there's a road. Ang problema ron, left and right, yung kasi thousands of hectares of coconut, ang problema nilang, 2 pesos, 3 pesos, 5 pesos per kilo ang kopra. Kaya gutom ang mga tao doon. Kaya ang kwampo namin, nila, ng Coco Center, we will establish there a coconut center nga para value adding, value chain. Ngayon ang problema, we don't have any budget. Eh sabi ko,
Chairman, ganito, naglilista naman tayo. Hindi kasi trabaho ninyo yan.
oh,
You organize them into cooperative.
yeah, we have 150 in 2
All right.
weeks time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You come up with a feasibility study which only needs brains
Yes, we have.
and manpower.
We have produced already that.
Present it to us, kami.
Okay.
And we will lobby to the DA and the DTI.
Yeah, okay. I will do that as
We
a-
cannot give, it's not within your mandate kasi it's not within your mandate to be the one to put up the oil facility, oil
Yes,
coconut
oh.
center or facility. Di ba?
Pero,
I mean, clear yan eh. Show me in your mandate that it is there, that you have to be the one giving out the dole out of these
well,
funds.
Honorable Senator, it's actually in a number one mandate talaga. I don't know, but we have a different perspective on that. Number one talaga po, formulate, adapt, and implement. Implement the integrated comprehensive plans and programs in line with yung aming mandate of alleviating poverty,
Correct,
uprooting
correct.
social injustice. Ngayon po, if that be the case, yun po talaga ay mga nasa margins of development. We want to put them into the mainstream. How? Yun na nga po, I really salute you, sir, for saying that. Pero ang problema, sige, how? Ganito pong ginawa namin. You know what? In cooperativism, we believe that the number one capital is not money. It is actually human resource. Training. Your honor,
Yun nga, sinagot mo na ako eh. Yun na yun eh. Human
Yeah.
resource
Oh,
training.
capability.
Opo.
Oh, that they are taught how to do this, to value chain and everything. Not a single peso for training. Wala po kaming budget dyan.
Because your 72 million went to buy, what was that? Rice mill, mini rice mills.
Well, actually, that's an insertion. Pero ang kuwang ko po talaga is this. Yung po sinasabi na, di ba, we always face BIR. Sabi nila, oh, out of the 28,000.
You know what, Chairman?
Oh.
I know, I feel you.
Yun
You're
na
from
nga
the
po eh.
NGO sector.
Yun na nga.
In the NGO sector is the superhumans of this society.
Yeah.
They really, and I salute you for that because
Yeah.
I want to support the NGO sector because I believe it's only through you guys that that will be able to reach out and go to the hinterlands and do this. The thing is, your agency is not a superhuman, a super body. Kasi unlike in Thailand, it's the Department of Agriculture and Cooperatives, di ba? Maybe they find reason for blending it together. Kasi in Thailand, yung Department of Agriculture tsaka yung development arm nila yung cooperative sector, they work hand in hand. So yung pera ng DA, nagagamit po ng Cooperative Development Authority na doon kasi nasa isang department po kayo. But now you're under the DTI, which is also a very good agency and very well respected. But ang punto lang namin dito is the maximizing the utilization of your funds. Na-insertion na nga kayo, humingi na kayo ng insertion, bakit sana hindi kayo humingi ng insertion for training? I know. Benji, bakit hindi kayo humingi? Alam mo, ako allergic. Kami ni Risa, allergic kami sa procurement. Dahil lahat ng procurement nagkakaroon ng anomalya. Hindi ko sinasabing may anomalya yan. Ang sinasabi ko lang, there is always that question in people's minds when you want to buy things, buy and procure. It is common nature in the Philippines. Basta meron kang pondong ganyan, may intelligence fund ka, may purchasing fund ka, yan pondo na yan ay minsan nagagamit kung saan-saan. Kaya sa amin talaga, nag-ingat na ingat po kami sa pondong iyan. So kaya dapat siguro napaalam nyo sa amin na may ganitong klaseng programa kayo para we could have advised you what would have been a better priority. In this case, tama si Chairman. It should have been human resource development.
Yeah.
We could have organized these people better. Di ba? yung also utilizing your plantilla. Dapat yun ang prioritize natin, yung dagdag tao ninyo. Madam Vice Chair. Si Asek Benji.
Yeah.
If I may lang, Mr. Chair, when I was appointed as one of the member of the board, uh, saka lang ho, na-create yung may maropa. Na-address ho namin yung 15 na kulang na plantilla positions ng Caraga that was left so many years na hindi yan nasikaso. We are a regulatory agency but wala ho tayong regulatory division. We were able to create that regulatory division, even the credit surety fund. Kaya ho, tama ho yung sinabi ng DBM o PCCB na kailangan lang hong trabahuin, Mr. Chair. And as the oversight of the budget and finance, tinabaho ho natin yan. They're very accommodating po, no? Sa totoo lang. Kasi kailangan lang talagang mangulit, mag-follow up, mag-present ng mga proposals. Yung balance ho ng mga 100 na unfilled positions, pwede naman kasing i-filled up talaga yan. May mga sa bureaucracy, may sistema kasi. Like for example, when a certain position was vacant because of a promotion, when we hired, there is a process. And it so happened na we need to get the civil service, what do you call that? I mean, attestation, no? And it took 3 to 4 months for civil service because they have also lack of personnel handling the OEOs at the time. So we understand also the dilemma. But it is also right, Mr. Chair, na there is no issue about funding of the remaining plantilla positions because it is covered under the Miscellaneous Personal Benefit Fund, no, of DBM. So wala ho kaming issue doon. Doon sa budget mismo itself, we presented, there was a time we present 2 billion, 3 billion, 5 billion, and I believe the normalization program, nandyan na ho yan, wala pa ho ako sa CDA, the proposal I mean. It was a proposal by Administrator Penny Disimbanden, and it was included in the DBM presentation. And DBM, if when we were presenting that, hindi talaga sinama yan ng DBM from the very beginning. Kaya ho, insertion ho yan pinasok. Yung mga trainings, so ang dami ho namin proposals. Meron kaming aruga, meron kaming biyaheng co-op, may mga yung hand-holding ng mga programs na pinupush namin. Pero yung mga trainings, so wala talaga kaming substantial, Mr. Chair, na naibigay from the side sa DBM. But they were able to provide us doon sa mga sa vehicle namin na refleeting program. So we are on the 3rd round already, Mr. Chair. So Innova lang ho ang pwede talaga based on the guidelines of DBM po. No, so
Ano ba ninyo? Do you have all for regional officers? Yes, Madam Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair, sabi ko nga, wow, Innova na. So pareho na kaming sasakyan. Kasi yun din yung sasakyan ko. And if I may, Mr. Chair, na so far, no, sa common advocacies namin ni Asik Oliva, I've always found na above board yung pagtatrabaho nila. Now, tama rin yung sinabi ni Chair na sa simula nung pagpapatupad nitong bagong batas, everything should be more than above board. Klarong-klaro, hindi lang sa komite namin ni Chair, but the whole cooperative movement, the whole public, na everything is 100% above board. So, gusto ko lang i-express, Chair, na ina-expect ko na sina Asik Oliva will be part of making that very clear communication, not just about yung mga procurement, pero pati yung pagpa-prioritize para hindi na mangyari na yung mga hindi naman nasa core task, core business talaga ng CDA, ito man ay mga mini rice mills, ito man ay film festival, ay hindi na mag-figure dyan. Pero really, kung ano yung core business ng CDA as embodied pati sa bagong batas. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
So that on the film festival, ano ba, may parang FAMAS, parang ano ba yan, yung sa MMF, Metro Manila Film Festival, meron na kayong CDA film showing, ano ba?
it's just a documentary, Mr. Chair, because we have a annual awards, Dagawad Parangal, but all of those awards are not shared in the public. Ano yung mga best practices, ano yung mga innovations, and how they were able to build a community. So hindi ho kasi we want to recruit more in the youth sector kasi na mag-co-op sila. Pang-marketing siya, na arm siya. And
I also, I think that you have to focus, gentlemen and ladies of the CDA, you have to focus on your awards kasi wala na, as much as I've been rallying and appealing and lobbying for the DOF on the Gawad Pitak, wala na, ayaw talaga nilang gumalaw. Kaibigan ko si Ma'am Cecil Borromeo, sabi niya, wala, utos talaga ng DOF, mahal talaga kayo ng Department of Finance. So, strengthen na lang the interagency within your agency, no? Not interagency, but within your interagency award. Because at least para mabigyan parangal, no? At pugay ang mga ahensya ng iba't ibang CDA, cooperatives rather, under your auspices. Mas maganda nga yan kasi maski na walang loan alam mo naman, Gawad Pitak, pag may loan lang, may award. Yung mga ano na walang loan sa land bank, may chance manalo. So even that, we're willing to fund. Those things are, my goodness, we can fund that. We can add 20, 30, 40 million for that so that we can look for the best cooperatives all around the region. Yun lang humingi lang kayo ng tamang mga programa para at least matulungan namin kayo. Now let's go to the cooperative sector. I think we've dwelt on the issue on the funding, on personnel. So it's obvious that we need to have the civil service on board here together with the DBM in the next meeting. Madam Beltran?
Good senators, pahabol lang po. Kasi we are currently preparing for the 2021 budget. So whatever will be framed up for the 2020 will have an impact on the 2021. So I suggest with CDA that the budget that we will have to submit for 2021 should already include what has been planned for 2020.
Alam mo, budgeting yan Dapat maaga kayo. Yung mga department na nakakakuha ng additional budgets, maaga sila nag-submit sa DBM. Pag nahuhuli kayo, pag mga June, wala na, delayed na, late na yan. Naubusan na kayo ng pondo dahil nabigyan na nila sa ibang departamento yung pondo. I actually spoke to Secretary Wendell, and he was even saying that the department should already be submitting as early as February, end of February. Dapat mamigay na kayo. Di-endorse namin. Lagay nyo dyan. Can you present to me and our Vice Chair person in the next hearing? Siguro we'll have it in 2 weeks. That's before the end of February. Your budget request for 2021 and what is included there in terms of programs aside from the plantilla position. Nandito naman si Ma'am. We'll invite also the DBM. Then we can submit it formally to them also. Is that doable? Yes, Executive Director.
Sir, we are on track on the schedule. By this end of the February po, we can have our initial draft for submission to the DBM. Thank you.
So let's call for a meeting maybe on not next week but the week after. Yeah, we'll call. Yeah, 24th siguro. Ma'am Asek.
Mr. Chair, meron lang kaming problema kasi po, updating konti sa RA 11364. Currently po, kami sa board, meron na kami mga schedule kasi clustering na po So 6 clusters. Ako po yung nauna na nag-conduct na po ng sa sector, yung labor, health, and yung 4 sectors. And my other colleagues will start their conduct of information and forum sa mga sectors nila. Itong February, March, susunod-sunod na po yung mga. Ang problema po namin, wala po, hindi included sa budget ng 2021, 2020, yung gastos na gagawin namin sa clustering. So yun po yung talagang pinoproblema namin. Ako po, nung una ko pong forum in Region 3, kape at saka biskwit lang po. Pinagkasya namin yung like 7,000 para sa labor co-ops. Inikot ko na po yung sector, ganun po yung ginagawa namin. Pero natatakot po kami sa malalaking clusters kung paano gagawin. So yun po talaga ang pinaka-concern namin is the 2020 expenses for the new charter.
May we ask DBM, is there a possibility, sinabi mo kanina may mga lump
Yes,
sum
sir.
funds
Opo.
kayo? Can they
Meron.
make a request? Can they make a
Yes, sir.
request
Yes, sir.
for additional funding for
But
training within the year?
ano po namin sa release of funds, you have to front load first. If we can see from the reports they have submitted na medyo alanganin na, we will they can submit the budget, then we will have to course it through the for approval of the Office of the President for funding under the contingent fund. And basically, it's the Office of the President will have to ask some questions from them if there's really a deficiency.
Because I think that would be the best solution at the moment until we're waiting for the 2021 budget. Why don't you write them for a supplemental budget for that purpose? Then i-endorse namin.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, for your endorsement and of course endorsement of the good Secretary Lopez para po isasubmit sa kanila. Pero knowing na i-endorse niyo po, happy po kami for that. para sa
Secretary
2020.
Lopez, maraming pera. Humingi tayo kay Secretary. Baka makatulong
Pwede
Secretary.
din po.
Can that be, ma'am, being their parent agency?
We
Their
have a
mother
meeting with the
agency?
Secretary, Mr. Chair, on February 14. We scheduled a meeting for.
That, happy Valentine's.
Yes po. Working on
I hope it's
Valentine's.
a happy Valentine's for you guys. Let's make sure we'll invite to remind me so that I can text Secretary Lopez because we're very, very close. I'll ask him to be here, to be sure that he's here during that period of time. So, let's ask them on the co-ops because I want to hear from the co-op sector. Who would like to head? Ladies first? Okay lang? Or you want by size or by ladies? Ano ba? Sino magbibigayan? Magkakaibigan naman kayo. Ladies first. Oh, Professor, ikaw muna.
Good morning, Senator Zwirig, Senator Andiveras. Good morning. I am from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. I remember that we are partners with PASCRES, our Institute of Cooperatives. Yeah. So I think we are still partners. The College of Social Sciences and PASCRES are still partners in our advocacy work. Okay, so actually we have some position on this on 11364 specifically. There are two sections. We have Section 5 on the Board of Directors. That the board, of course, I'll just read the Section 5. The board shall be a collegial policy-making body composed of directors to be appointed by the President from the nominees of the cooperative sector representing the following clusters: credit and financial service, banking, insurance, consumers, marketing, producers and logistics, human services, health, housing, workers and labor service, education, advocacy, agriculture, agrarian, aquaculture, farmers, dairy, and fisher folks. And last would be the public utilities, consisting of electricity, water, public transport. The secretaries of the DTI and the LG are ex officio members of the board who may be represented by an assistant secretary. Now, the comment here is that the law has been approved in August 8, 2019, and past 6 months passed, and there's the composite board, 6 members and the chairman are still to be appointed, because in the transitory provision, the existing board of administrators will actually continue as such until the composite board of directors of the CDA is appointed by the president. But there are some already in the board that are appointed as directors. I think we have there already 2 that has been appointed, and last Friday we have actually seen the FB page that an additional CDA commissioner was appointed. So that means there are 3. So what would be now what is now the
Who are the
picture?
new appointed board? I think, who are the new appointed board? Please raise your hand. So, Ma'am Mirla, Asik Mirla, and? Okay.
And another one is Dr. Boylas.
Take oath na po kayo or wala? You took oath na? Oh, why aren't you joining us? Why are you sitting in the back? Today. Oh, okay. Sige.
Okay. So that the board is now consists of administrators and directors. So what is really the picture of the board of the CDA, consisting of administrators and directors? How do they function? So this is actually not for the committee, of course, to represent us in the office of the president, that the president should now appoint the rest of the board of directors, because we are actually at a loss. Kasi we have the board of directors, then we have the board of administrators who are functioning as one, but the board of the administrators are appointed by virtue of Article 6939, which of course is repealed, and then the 3 are appointed under 11364. So what would be the consequence of having 2 boards functioning as one? That is actually And then, of course, we should like to reiterate that the board of directors should come from the sector. They're nominated by the sector, appointed by the president, and they should come from the cluster. Are the new directors represent a cluster? That's what we want to know. And what clusters do they represent? So, meaning, and if there are 3 directors, who among the board of directors did they, actually, they were appointed in vice, who's director? So, yun po yung aking tinitingnan na in this particular case, mahirap para sa amin, sino sa kanila ang pinalitan? Kasi hindi namin alam kung sino pinalitan. So, we are not really aware of the appointments of the board of directors of CDA right now as part of the co-op sector. And also, yun po, and then another one is the office of the administrator. That in the law, there will be an administrator and 5 deputy administrators. Then there is no, now, because there's the board of administrators, are they the ones to occupy the administrator, or there is new one who will be appointed as administrator, and 5 would be appointed by the board of directors. So there's actually a question of reorganization, of structure and organization of CDA, and which is actually vital in their functions, in their function as a board. Then also as office of the administrator, now of course we have the ED right now, the executive director functioning as the head, as the manager of the agency. And the question is, he's not, since this is a new law, 11364, there's the office of the administrator, the office of the executive director is therefore abolished. So if this is abolished, then we have an executive director who is functioning right now at CDA. So these are questions that I am asking. I mean, they may not be confusing as far as CDA is concerned because they're performing their functions, and we appreciate them. We appreciate the work of the CDA right now, that they're still functioning despite 11364. But of course, the sector are asking these questions. Now, are there people who will be functioning? Then another is the IRR. Now, the IRR, they have actually consulted the sector as far as the IRR is concerned, but there are comments on the I say it is the how the IRR was written. Now, when I went over some IRR, now it's actually for SEC, for instance, the SEC has IRR, Implementing Rules and Regulations, consists of 245 pages. It's a comprehensive IRR. But with the CDA's IRR, now, there are some actually, they are copied from the law, and then there's a provision that guidelines will have to be issued by authority implementing this particular provision of the law. But that's the reason why we have IRR. We have specifics to implement the law. But the sector has not seen specifics as far as IRR is concerned.
Let me ask about that, Professor. Yung IRR is only a draft IRR because you cannot approve the IRR without the approval of the full board of administrators, correct?
Yeah.
Under the law, it's the board of administrators here, board of directors rather, in consultation of the cooperative sector and other concerned agencies formulate IRR within 90 days. So technically, it's the new board.
Yes, I understand.
So it's just a draft now?
It's a draft, but I am actually questioning. It's the draft that being consulted is not within the framework, actually, of the IRR.
Can we
May
ask
not
for
be
a copy
decided.
of the draft from the CDA? ASEC, ED, can you give me a copy of it? Can you give us a
Actually,
copy?
if I may, Mr. Senator, we have
Chairman.
actually brought a copy of that. That's one mentioned by Professor here. Nakuha po namin yan. And we have undergone a thorough process on that. Consultations, mga meetings and everything. And
We do share kasi sinasabi ng sector hindi daw sa kanila eh. Baka you had it with your staff or did they consult with you guys?
There are consultations, but you know, when there are consultations, there are questions, of course. But you know, when we are in the process of consultation, medyo masyado malaking grupo, tsaka no details. But of course, I am in the academe. My prospect is in the academe, so we actually volunteered to go into the IRR for Section 18. Then we submitted, as part of the an advocacy co-op, we submitted a draft for the section 18 rather, because academic is section 19, 18 is for the alliance. Those are details. But when we went over the IRR, it's more of a general statement as far as IRR, a general statement as far as the implementation of the law is concerned. So I went over some IRR, and I saw the IRR of SEC having the IRR for the organization, the different departments and so forth. And then, I just want to see some of those at CDA. So, baka naman kaya ko lang ho nasabi, ay, because it is one of the agenda of this hearing is on the IRR. So I was asking, is there a template? Is there a format on how the IRR should be written? So that we can, ang tingin ko kasi, if there are policies in management, if there are policies established by the board, what management do is to write the systems, process, and procedures. So if they have the law, then the IRR should have a very specific specific rules.
Anyway, we are
For-
just submitted the IRR, Prof. Will
Yeah.
allow us to study it also. Maybe
Yes.
we can give our comments also on the second hearing.
Yeah.
Ma'am Medina, would you like to give a statement?
Is actually, we have discussed these things and it's the same, and she has already expounded on it.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll just finish this side already. Mr. Vincent Balao, the General Manager of NFTC. Sir, do you have any sa Transport Corps? Meron po kayong gustong idagdag sa usapin ito sa bagong charter ng CDA?
Well, sa ngayon, sir, ay ang tingin lang namin ay talagang kailangan sigurong yung batas ay talagang ma-implement na. But I understand that the very reason why hindi naman siguro na talaga napipil up lahat yung mga positions is may mga sectors na siguro madali ang magbigay ng recommendation sa Pangulo para ito ay mapatupad. Pero in the meantime, hindi naman po pwedeng hindi gawin ng CDA ang kanilang ginagawa hangga't hindi napupuno yung kaso. I think na there should be really, sabi nga ni Madam meron dapat talagang time to repeal up the board. And in the meantime that is being undertaken, tama lang naman na gawin siguro ng existing Board of Administrators with some of the newly appointed Board of Directors to do the function. Otherwise, magkakaroon ng problema sa CDA functions. And although meron masigurong conflict doon, I don't think yung conflict na yon ay hindi masyadong magiging problema kung lalong hindi gagawin ng CDA yung kanilang functions, as they should be doing it using the new law rather than the old law. Yun lang po, sir.
Thank you, Sir Vincent. Vicente. Yes, ma'am. Junida.
Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang po sanang bigyan diin yung napakahalaga ng proseso ng pagsasagawa ng IRR. Kasi ang kadalasan pong nagiging problema namin sa sector, kapag ka po hindi well stated, hindi detalyado, napakarami po ng room for interpretation. Nagkakagulo po kami pagdating sa implementation phase. Katakot-takot po na circular ang ilalabas mo para ipaliwanag. So siguro po gusto kong bigyan lang ng diin, kung bigyan nating, yung tinatanong ni Ma'am Mantalaba kanina is, mayroon bang forma, mayroon bang istruktura ang pagsasagawa ng IRR? Pangalawa, ano-ano ba ang nilalaman dapat ng IRR? Pangatlo siguro, nakikita ko pong kasunod na problema nito, kapag ka po hindi maayos yung pagsasagawa ng IRR, as detailed as what we've seen dun sa Securities and Exchange Commission design, maaari po na magka-problema na naman sa budget of 2021 kasi ang DBM po ay tumitingin sa istruktura para lamanan ng ilang tao ang ilalagay batay doon sa mga sinabi mong gagawin mo. Functions, programs, doon po tinitingnan lahat yon. Ngayon kung sa IRR pa lamang, hindi malinaw kung paano isasagawa ang lahat ng bagay na ito, nakikita po namin na malaking problema na naman po ang haharapin namin. So kung maaari lang po sanang hilingin na magkaroon po talaga ng masusing pag-aaral doon sa IRR. Tapos po yung patulong pag-follow up po doon sa mga ia-appoint na nanggaling po sa sector. Wala naman po kaming personal na mga pinipili. Meron na po in-endorse ang sector. Para sa amin po, matulungan lang po sigurong maisagawa yon. Tapos po yung detalye, sir, ng IRR, malaking bagay po para sa amin yan. Salamat po.
Madam Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair, gusto ko rin sanang itanong kung mayroong in relation sa mga questions na nire-raise, kung may transition plan o kung may change management in place, both po sa institutional questions, yung pag-finalize nung Board of Administrators, yung pag-finalize nung Board of Directors, and yung pag-finalize nung bagong office ng Administrator, at saka dun sa usapin ng pag-finalize ng IRRs na sabi nga ni Chair kanina, aaprubahan ng board. So, kailangan talaga mabuo yung board and with due regard dun sa nominees ng sektor mismo, yung mga kooperatiba mismo. So, it would seem, Mr. Chair, na itong dalawang napaka-importanteng essential na matters could be addressed, overseen under the oversight of the committee kung in the affirmative yung sagot sa tanong ko na may transition plan ba, may change management in place ba para sa pagpapatupad ng bagong batas, Mr. Chair?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, yeah, thank you so much, Honorable Tiberos, for that wonderful question. Actually, I can say this. We have leave, as I've said earlier, no stone unturned to really prove equal to the task. And actually, after the person has signed the law, actually, we constituted the technical working group. And then after that, we went around for consultation, and then another series of meetings, and then before finalizing the draft IRR, we put it again in our website for any comment and everything. And so along that line, yung pong sa kwan na Honorable Senator, na what is now transition. Ang nakalagay din po kasi doon sa law na we will still function as board until the new board director is actually appointed and we are replaced. And so, there are already, of the 6 directors, 3 na po ang napalitan actually. And so along that line, we were expecting very soon, including the chairman, will be replaced already. So no problem on that. We are ready for that actually. Ang kuwan ko lang po is, actually, let it be said, no, we serve notice to one and all. In whose name and for whose cause, we are in CDA4. It is for the cooperative movement. And all of those, I've said, 29 new, provision and everything. Yung mga defined po ron, ang kuwan lang po kasi namin, if you really want that we go to the detail, mahaba na talaga. Kaya ang kinukuha po namin doon, baka kailangan niya ng guidelines na. At any rate, yun po ang aming guidepost, yung IR, yung law, and then, but we cannot deviate from that. And so along that line, rest assured, no? Kung titingnan po natin the 29, yun po, Mr. Chairman, nandiyan po lahat yan. Ngayon, ang sinasabi nila na parang wala yan, kami po, we mobilize all our legal, ang mga lawyers po. And then they say, what are legally tenable is the one na nandun talaga. Kasi pag sinabi na, ito suggestion, o after some, discussion, parang hindi yata ito in line with the law. So parang hindi. Yung pong mga definition doon, talagang yung mga new section, that's coming from the sector. And so along that line, we can claim na this is the output of the consultation. It is not just the outpourings of the mindset of my staff, no. Technical working group going around and everything. So would you believe that? Yun po ang kwan talaga. It's well-consulted document. And kami po nun sa board, those who are replaced, umalis na. Kami, we are willing anytime, Madam Senator. Yun na po is in the law eh. Pero meanwhile, we have to do our work. So ito po ang kwan ngayon, scenario. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dagdag lang po, siguro ang punto ko sa pag-raise din ng tanong na iyon I suppose in any change process, it's accompanied, yes, by a lot of passion, by a lot of hopes around the table. Minsan, iba't ibang mga expectation din na yung iba nagmamatch, yung iba hindi. And even in that process na pag sasaayos muli ng yung organizational structure and then yung pag-embody ng detalye. The chair was saying na several of our colleagues are very, very particular din sa IRRs. na there's always possibly room for improvement or even guidance. So I suppose, Chair, babalik din sa oversight function ng committee, no? Lalo na itong bagong batas ay ipinanganak ng chair ng komite, and so talagang may very invested in the process na maipatupad siya ng maayos. Sayang, and so much potential even in addressing those questions ng organizational structure or institutional structure at saka yung IRRs. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Absolutely, you hit the nail right on the head. Kailangan siguro, although there's a draft, and as I said, it's still a draft. As you said, it's still a draft until the new board of directors are elected and appointed. So let us review the draft. We have 2 weeks till we meet again. And so during that time, maybe we can come up. Pero tamang sinabi po ni Ma'am Leonila Medina that dapat walang gray area, hindi dapat vague ang wordings. Alam mo sinong nagturo sa akin yan dito sa Senado? Yung boss namin sa minority, which is Senator Franklin M. Drilon. He does not like laws that are vague kasi it's open to interpretation later on, tapos nagkakagulo. Di ba yan ang ginawa natin sa ating cooperative code, especially with the issue of the BIR. Talagang ginawa na namin specific yung mga tax exemptions. Kasi dati, they are just tax exempt. Ginawa namin, nagdagdag kami ng isang section, talaga, ano ba yung exemption nila? Ito. And we were able to be successful with that. As a matter of fact, we're still not in the clear because in the PIFITA, there are sections there again that will affect cooperative movement. So nanalo tayo sa train 1 na hindi tayo na-affected sa train 1, but dito sa PIFITA, sa Sitira in fairness, binabantayan ko wala. Pero dito sa PIFITA, which is a package 3, bantayan din natin yan. And I seek the support of the co-op sector to lobby with us to make sure that we remove it as much as possible, no, all these incentives that we've given, not to be removed, or remove it from the PIFITA. Now let's go to the left side of the table. We'll start first with Mr. Leonardo, sir, of the Cooperative Center, PCC.
Honorable Chair and Vice Chair, nakatutuwa pong marinig no less than the Chair of CDA recognizing and expressing the need to strengthen the partnership between the sector and CDA. Kanina po, nung marinig ko yun, tuwan-tuwa talaga ako doon. Because from day one po, that's what the sector had desired and has been clamoring, yung strengthening ng partnership between our partner agency and the sector. Tulad nga po kanina, when may binanggit si Chair Orlan about, si ASEC Benji about them putting up rice mill facilities, naisip ko lang po, even the sector, we have a similar initiative. We're into value chain, the sector. We're even thinking about getting into bamboo plantation, dairy processing. And these are some of the initiatives that we can work together on. Sana po mas malimit na mag-usap ang sektor at ang CDA so that things like this na minsan nakakalampas. Personally, I have not been aware about the 70 million something that's being budgeted for rice mills by CDA. Maganda sana if early on the sector was made aware so that we could have worked together more closely. So yun po. And then secondly, we're also in full support dun sa sinabi ni Chair Orlan that we'd really need to augment the manpower of CDA as well as the budget. If I may manifest, and if you don't mind, Honorable Chair, we've actually had similar hearings or meetings sponsored or called for or called on by the House Committee on Cooperatives. And among the bill spending there, I'm sure you're well aware of it already. There's one bill there which seeks to appoint a cooperative development officer for each LGU. There's this other bill which seeks to allot 2% of the internal revenue allotment of every LGU for co-op development projects. This, in effect, is in recognition of the fact that CDA is really short of manpower and of budget. And it's an effort for the sector to help augment uh, efforts towards improving the state of the cooperative movement as a whole, not just the sector. So uulitin ko po, maganda sana kung nagkakaalaman ang ahensya at ang sektor on our respective initiatives. So baka ma-minimize natin yung mga duplication, no? And in the end, it will be for the benefit of the entire movement. Then siguro pa thirdly, do sa binanggit ni Professor Ellen, medyo may mga reservations din na well, si Chair Orlan is very well aware of this. We still have some reservations, if I may be very blunt about it, dun sa internal at sa IRR, no, sa implementing rules and regulations, and we had expressed this to Chair Orlan. In fact, nakakatuwa, Madam Vice Chair, na si Chair Orlan mismo is setting a special session between the board, or at least some of the members of the board of CDA with the sector, for us to go over some of those reservations. So maganda po sana kung matuloy na yung meeting na sineset ni Chair Orlan, so that once and for all, we can get this out of the way. Itong mga reservations, itong mga issues that we may have relating to the IRR. We have in fact submitted a draft of the IRR incorporating the comments, the inputs, suggestions coming from the sector. Ito po ay resulta ng consultation din naman with some of the leaders of the movement or of the sector. At maganda sanang ma-marry yung mga inputs na ito para ma-finalize na yung IRR relating to 11364.
Thank you, Mr. Leonardo. Nag-quick bathroom break lang ang chair, but we can proceed until he returns shortly. Sir Edwin Bustillos, please.
Madam Vice Chair, good afternoon po at sa mga kasama natin sa Cooperative Development Authority at sa co-op sector. Ma'am, I have 3 points doon sa discussion. First, while we fully support yung pagdadagdag ng budget ng CDA, because makikita naman ho natin doon sa trabaho nila, developmental, regulation, and adjudication, talaga hong may pangangailangan na magdagdag ng budget. And during the meeting with the CDA, pinakita ho nila yung budget vis-a-vis dun sa approved na budget. I think it's high time na yung proposal po ng DBM na mag-submit po sila ng budget related to, in particular, yung sa cluster organizations, ay masimulan na. However, ma'am, Madam Vice Chair, we would like to emphasize that based on Republic Act 11364, it's about the partnership with the other with all the stakeholders, particularly the cooperative sector. So when it comes to budgeting, we would like to propose that it should be participatory. Participatory budgeting means that sa developmental, where the co-op sector is being consulted as to the programs, among other things, baka maganda rin naman ho na the cooperative leaders should be invited para ho kung sakali makapagbigay ng mga proposals dun sa mga trainings and other developmental projects, may input po na manggagaling sa co-op sector. And don't worry ho, ang co-op sector would be happy to help yung CDA, particularly yung mga mayayamang na malalaking cooperatives na mag-participate at tumulong talaga. Second po, yung interagency coordination. So, nakita naman natin na dun sa implementation ng Republic Act 11364, napakarami ho ng mga ahensya ang dapat nilang i-coordinate. At syempre, I assume, may mga technical staff po na nakatutok halimbawa pag ang kausap ay, let's say, DAR, DA, DOLE, and so on and so forth. So kung sakali man na may pangangailangan ho doon sa mga technical support na ito at kailangan isama sa budget, then that should be prioritized. Kasi marami hong nakalista dun sa Republic Act 11364 na napaka-importante ng required personnel na nakatutok po doon. Kasi sa totoo lang, marami ho sa kanila multi-skilling. No? At importante na ma-address yun. Second, sa interagency coordination, napaka-importante rin ho nung relationship between the CDA, BIR, DOF, at saka ng cooperative sector. Kasi dun sa Section 14, doon sa registration for tax exemption, we need to clarify doon sa implementing rules and regulations. Because there are conflicts doon sa revenue regulations ng BIR vis-a-vis doon sa Republic Act 11364. So baka maganda na i-marry siya at magkaroon pa ng mas malalim na pag-uusap, in particular doon sa implementation ng Section 14. Third and last point, ma'am, Madam Vice Chair, is that, Mr. Chair, the information campaign is mentioned in Republic Act 11364. Sabi doon, kung anong merong budget ngayon ng CDA, pwede nila magamit. Pero yung mga succeeding massive information campaign, that should be part of the 2021 budget. And with that, Mr. Chair, we would like to, again, request the CDA to partner with the cooperative sector in the information campaign. Kasi of the 18,000 operating cooperatives nationwide, yun ho mga affiliates po ng Philippine Cooperative Center and allies can help dun sa massive information campaign. And the CDA, as the lead role to that, ay malaking bagay ho na ma-propagate natin yung cooperativismo sa bansa. Which is very important at this point. And last point na lang po pala, doon po sa budget and resources, kagaya ng dininan ko kanina, yung participatory budgeting, again, there was a proposal coming from ASEC LAC na ongoing na ho yung kanilang consultation process sa mga clusters na bubuuin because of this Republic Act. We are in a meeting as well, for example, with ASEC Vidal, relative to the consultation process. At sana magpatuloy po yon. Kasi at the end of the day, ang magre-recognize naman ho talaga is the authority. Pero during the process ng organizing ng cluster, the co-op sector should be invited, should be part of the organizing stage, lalo po yung mga malalaking federations and unions. So yun lamang po, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sir Edwin, pareho po kayo ni Mr. Leonardo taga Phil Co-op Center. May nabanggit po kayo kanina na may reservations yung sector regarding the current draft IRR. Ano-ano po ba yung mga reservations para maka-keep tabs po ang komite as part of its oversight function under the chair?
Bigyan kayo ng kopya.
Yes, Mr. Senator. Yes. Ang ilang po sa mga reservations ay na-express na kanina ni Professor Mantalaba. Yun nga po, in line with our desire for strengthening the partnership, maganda po sana na yun, in terms of representation sa board, as contained in the law itself, in the draft of the law itself, those who will make up the board of directors should, if we were to really think hard on it, should be coming from the sector. So we would want to, well, pardon me saying this, but in effect, we would want to be assured that those who will be sitting in the board will genuinely represent the interests of the sector, having come from the sector itself. So that's one reservation that we have right now. Yung in terms of implementation, ganun nga po, given that there's a mix of members of the board falling under the old law and the new law, how will it impact on implementation, given that, as mentioned earlier, 6 months have already passed, and it might affect the efficiency and effectiveness not only of CDA but of the sector itself, no? Mahirap na nalilito tayong lahat kung paano ba ang setup, no? What else?
Siguro, gentlemen, can you submit to us your position paper together with the co-op movements, no, the co-op representatives here, particularly on the implementing rules and regulations, section per section, as submitted to us by the CDA, para if you have specific recommendations, we can take it up in the next hearing na itong section ito sa IRR nila, on which function, and so on and so forth, pwede natin ma-amend.
Yes,
It's still a
Mr.
draft
Senator.
anyways, di ba? So, we can come up with a recommendation, the committee can come up with a recommendation, incorporating your recommendation.
Yes, yes.
So,
Thank
we
you.
can do that.
Thank you so
We
much.
can work with my staff, and the staff of Senator Risa. We'll put up a TWG together to look into the IRR. Kasi napakalaga nito eh. And then on our part, we will lobby with the PMS, Presidential Management Staff, to without naming names and whoever it may be, as long as ang request lang namin within the sector. Diba? Tama naman ang sinasabi nila na dapat it's representative of the sector.
That's correct, Mr. Chairman. I mean, being the author of the law, we give high respect and weight to whatever comments you will have, and of course, coming also from the sector at that. But be that as it may, yung sinasabi po nila, I'm so happy that Edwin also earlier mentioned that they want to participate in mga budgetary meeting and everything. We already have a draft, kasi ang kwa namin talaga, while it may not be included yet, kasi we're talking 2021, but you know what, kailangan na talagang simulan na ngayon eh. And so along that line, yung sabi ni Asekla kanina, we have now to do the clustering. And based on your proposals, kailangan maput na into motion. And you're saying about information campaign, and I'm so glad to hear that you're going to participate. Alam mo, you're targeting 18,000 at that, or 28,000, 11 million members. How do you now communicate with them on this, sa information campaign? Kailan pa ba natin i-start yan sa 2021, Mr. Senator? Dapat ngayon ang information campaign, yung first album natin, preparation, whatever it is. So along that line, we have already put that, and I would like to give you a copy of this, Mr. Senator, of this additional budget 2020. Thank you.
So kung ganun, remember we're supposed to request from the DBM yung additional budget ninyo, ASEC Mirla, yung sinabi mo kanina? That you want me to endorse together with the DTI?
Yes, we have already draft, Mr. Chair, with our finance people.
Submit it please to our committee.
Yeah, yes po.
Yeah. So, that's it to wrap up, because I'm sure everybody's busy. Vice Chair? Yeah, I was going to request our distinguished Vice Chair to any motion to approve the rules.
Yes, Mr. Chair, before the Chair suspends the hearing, I would just like to, it's been a very fruitful first hearing.
Exciting.
And sobrang exciting. And speaking of the IRRs of CDA, para lang talagang legit itong napaka-mabungang first hearing na. Of course, Mr. Chair, I would respectfully like to move for the approval of the rules of our committee, the Senate Committee on Cooperatives. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Vice Chair. There being no objections, the committee rules are approved. Rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. Yes, and also, before we end, I'd like to apologize for a bit of my hot-headedness earlier. Alam mo naman, ayaw natin ng ganyan na Monday. So my apologies to the
So,
chairperson.
Chairman, you are our hero, okay? You're our hero,
Hindi
you're our
naman, wala
champion.
tayo hero. Hindi ako. Ang akin lang, it's you share, I see your frustration, you see also my
Yeah, yeah,
frustration.
yeah.
In other words, we're both passionate in what we believe in. Kami sa policy, kayo sa field. Kaya naawa din ako sa inyo dahil kukulangan ng budget. Let's work together.
Of course.
Let's work together. We'll come up with solutions. So we'll work with the DBM, ma'am. And of course, we'll work with the CSC. We'll invite the chairperson of the CSC to join us. Yes, Asek, final words?
Sir, because we intend to see the CSC tomorrow, the Cooperative Development Authority will be going to CSC tomorrow. So if it is possible that you can already send your voice
Yes, my
to the
message.
CSC.
I'll talk to the chairperson later.
Thank you. for
Tawagan
that,
na lang
Mr.
namin si
Chairman.
ma'am. We'll call her. And who knows, kung okay na, we will not have to invite any more CSC. Then there'll be excuse from the further hearings of this. Hopefully, okay na yung additional plantilla positions. Thank you. So thank you very much, gentlemen, attorney, ma'am, from the DBM, from the CDA. I just want to, who's the new one that was supposed to be appointed? Nandiyan ba siya? Nandito ba? Is he here?
Yeah, it's here.
Next year. He was earlier. What is his background, sir? Dr.
Actually-
Lazada is from...
Actually, from Calamba, he's connected with member siya ng isang agricultural cooperative.
So member siya ng isang cooperative.
Yes, that's correct.
But he's dentist by profession.
Yes.
Okay. And thank you, ma'am, professor. Thank you to the cooperative
And-
sectors that are here today. So we're only suspending the hearing. We're going to move, we'll move to suspend the hearing until Feb 24 is our tentative date. So, flying kiss ko na lang kayo lahat, ha? I love you all. I'll see you then. No? Thank you very much. The hearing is hereby
Yeah,
suspended.
thank you so much. Thank you
Mabuhay.
so much.